Dear Aquarius, have you felt, lately in your sleep, a deep and warm voice calling your name, but you couldn't quite see the face? Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, your heart pounding, as if a soul was standing close by? You are not imagining things. That is your father, from heaven, and he's trying to tell you something urgent. A sign that if you ignore, you may lose a sacred destiny that has already been sealed just for you. Please stay until the very last moment, because I will reveal to you the exact warning he's sending, and why it's tied to the most important turning point in your life, Aquarius. Right beneath this video, I am ready to hear the call from heaven. That comment is not just an affirmation. It is a door for divine energy to begin moving on your behalf. Prepare yourself, Aquarius, because what your father is trying to warn you about doesn't just concern you. It touches a relationship that feels close, even harmless, but it has been quietly dimming your light every single day. And now, I'll tell you exactly why Uranus, your ruling planet, is being powerfully activated right now, and what that means for you, beloved Aquarian soul. There are things that words can't explain. There are vague feelings we brush off as coincidences, but in truth, they are whispers from another world trying to reach you. I'm not here to convince you to believe in some vague spiritual idea. I'm here to remind you of what you've always known. You were born under a rare star, with a heart that hears the subtle vibrations of heaven. As an astrologer, I've read thousands of charts, but every time I read the chart of an Aquarius, I feel something sacred. A gateway opens, not just to the world, but to what lies beyond the light. Aquarius isn't just a sign of the future. You are a soul living between two worlds, the world of the human and the world of the spirit. And today, one of those worlds is calling you. Have you ever felt a presence next to you when you were alone? Have you ever heard an old song and tears came, as if memories that didn't belong to you came rushing in? Have you ever stood in a room, looked into the emptiness, and felt someone was watching you from behind? I'm not here to dismiss that feeling. I'm here to affirm that you are right, because there is a soul, a great love that transcends time, that is still watching every step you take. And that person is your father. In the astrological chart, Uranus, the ruling planet of Aquarius, represents sudden awakenings, the unpredictable, and interventions from the divine. And when this planet becomes highly activated, it is Aquarian souls who receive the signals first. But more importantly, those signals often come from those who have passed on, not because they are not at peace, but because they still have a mission to protect you, to awaken you, to stop you from making a choice that could steer your soul away from its divine path. I know this may stir your emotions or make you question yourself, because Aquarius is a master at hiding emotion with logic. You often say, "I'm fine," even when your heart is breaking. You smile, even when you've just collapsed inside. But never forget, just because you've been alone in pain, doesn't mean you have to be alone forever. There are wounds you've never shared with anyone. Nights where you sat in silence in the dark, just to hear your own heartbeat. And in those moments, you were not alone. Have you dreamt of the ocean lately? A door, a bird flying past you. All of those images are symbols the soul uses to communicate. And when the messenger is your father, the energy is strong, protective, and overwhelming. Ask yourself, why have you been feeling uneasy lately? Why do you feel concern for someone, even though they haven't done anything wrong? Why do you suddenly want to leave a place you've known for so long? The answer is this: your father is ringing the bell, and bells only ring when something needs to change. This is the lesson I've learned. After years of working with the energy of those who have passed on, it's not the dead who need us to remember them. It's us who need them to awaken something buried within ourselves. When a father sends a message from heaven, it's not simply because he misses you. It's because he sees what you can't yet see. He sees the darkness surrounding you from those who seem the closest. He sees you being led toward a place that isn't meant for you, only because you're afraid to say no. And he acts, not with words, but with energy, not with shouting, but with a loving presence. Have you ever found yourself working and suddenly stopped? Just to cry? No reason. No one hurt you. No one even knows you're in pain. But you do, and maybe so does your father. Because he is holding your heart through every one of those tears. He doesn't need to appear to protect you, because he has become part of your soul. Be honest with yourself. Have you recently felt like you can't breathe when you're near certain people? Have you noticed the room you used to love now feels suffocating? Do you see the light in your eyes slowly fading? and you don't know why. If you do, don't rush to blame yourself. Maybe you are absorbing energy that no longer aligns with your soul. And your father, the one who knows you better than anyone, is whispering softly, "You don't belong there anymore." If what I've just said stirs something deep inside you, right beneath this video, I have heard my father's call. You're not just writing it for me, you are writing it for your own soul, sending a sacred confirmation to higher realms that you are ready. And right now, as I speak to you, a very clear image appears in my mind. A vision sent from your Father in heaven. It is a familiar face, someone very close to you, someone you once trusted, but their eyes don't tell the truth. Your father whispered to me with a powerful intuition, "Warn my daughter, not everyone who smiles carries light in their heart. Light will always try to protect you, but sometimes to be protected, you must dare to look into the darkness. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may forever change the way you see those around you, and it may set you free from a manipulation that has lasted far too long." Dear Aquarius, if you've ever smiled around others, but felt your heart sighing quietly inside, if you've ever walked away from a conversation, feeling tired in your soul for no clear reason, then today pause, because your father is sending you a signal that doesn't come in sound, but in the shifts within your heart. The whispers you've been too afraid to believe are real. As an astrologer, I've witnessed hundreds of birth charts transform through intense cosmic seasons. And I know, when Pluto, the planet of hidden truths, forms a square with Uranus, your ruling planet, this is not just an astrological event. It is the opening of a soul gate, where the truth long buried begins to reveal itself. And in these moments, no mask can hold for long. Have you ever felt someone close to you in family, friendship, or deep connection suddenly turn cold, indifferent, say things that made you feel smaller? They didn't scream at you, but they stayed silent when you shone. Their gaze lingered too long. Their smile felt forced. Their congratulations never came. That's not a feeling, that's energy, and you, an Aquarius, feel it more clearly than anyone. Your father showed me a clear vision, a woman who's always there when you seek support. She cares, yet her care somehow makes you shrink. Her eyes, though smiling, never truly soften when you shine. She doesn't need harsh words to wound you, because her gaze, her energy, and her gentle yet poisonous comments are enough to make you blame yourself for being happy. Not everyone in the family is a place where your heart should rest. You have the right to choose who is worthy of sharing your energy. You have the right to pull your heart away from relationships that no longer lift your soul. And your father, from a higher realm, a place of clearer vision, is standing there watching you and quietly whispering, "You don't have to exhaust yourself just to be loved." Do you remember the last time you shared a small success and the other person only gave a half smile before saying something that echoed in your mind for weeks? It wasn't feedback. It was a subtle wound cutting into your self-worth, and the most painful part is that you've gotten used to it. You've dimmed your light just to make them feel more comfortable. But your father, he hasn't. He's seen you live too long inside false relationships. He knows you deserve more, and now he's speaking up right beneath this video. I am ready to release what no longer belongs to my soul. Because when you write that, you're not just typing words. You're sending a spiritual confirmation that you have heard him. You choose light, you choose yourself. But this doesn't end here. Your father has shown me, not just one person, but two more sitting close to you with beautiful eyes and sweet smiles. But hearts that are not pure, they don't attack with force. They calculate in silence. They make you question yourself. They make you shrink away from your own radiance. They are a quiet alliance. A bond not formed with words, but with shared envy. You've forgiven so much, I know you have, but forgiveness cannot become a spiritual trap that holds you back. You must learn to stand up, without guilt, when walking away from those who no longer love you in the right way. You are not selfish for choosing the light. You are not wrong for protecting your energy. And if you're still unsure, pause for a moment and ask yourself, can I truly be myself around them? Do they genuinely celebrate my joy? Or do I always feel the urge to stop shining when I'm near them? Your father doesn't want you to live in that reality anymore. He is waking you up with unmistakable signs, the fatigue that lingers after each encounter, the repeating dreams, the tightness in your throat when you want to say something real, and there's more. There is another person, someone softer, quieter, and more dangerous. This one doesn't speak ill of you, doesn't block your path, but they always appear right before you're about to do something important. They whisper things that make you hesitate. They plant doubt in your own light, and they want to keep you close so you'll never rise too far. Your father has seen it all, and he's hoping you wake up in time. Now, I'm going to tell you about that person, about how they use false affection to blur your direction, and how you can free yourself without having to fight. All it takes is your willingness to hear the truth, your willingness to return to yourself. You've been through long, silent nights without answers. You've held in so many questions, so many unnamed emotions, just to keep the world around you peaceful. But your soul has never been at peace, and now, as a lunar cycle reaches its fullness, as the Leo full moon lights up your fourth house, the house of ancestry, memory, family, and sacred legacy, something holy is taking place. You are no longer living in the old time, Aquarius. You are being brought to the exact point your destiny has been waiting for. A place where you look at what truly belongs to you and what must now be released. But the most beautiful truth is this: you are not walking through that door alone. I don't know if you believe this, but there is a soul who has always been with you. Silently but fiercely, this person doesn't just love you. They once held you as you slept, and now they are trying to hold your soul every time you come close to giving up. That person is your father, and he is whispering to me now, you are not just continuing your own life. You are completing a dream I never got to finish. I believe that every Aquarius carries a sacred mission, not just because you are the innovator, the revolutionary, but because within you lives a strange ache, a yearning to liberate something ancient, a longing to heal what cannot be named. You once thought it was responsibility, but it is deeper than that. It is soul legacy. You are not living for your father, you are living the part of life he never had the chance to live. You are speaking the truth he once kept silent. You are forgiving what he never could. You are protecting yourself, what he once neglected in order to protect others. You are freeing an entire ancestral river through your awakening. When the light touches your fourth house, it shines straight into memory. And that memory is not just yours, it belongs to your entire lineage. You may suddenly remember old things, moments you thought you'd forgotten. You may dream of an old house, a father, an event from your childhood. That is not fantasy. It is a heavenly invitation to open the door that has long been closed, and that door is now open. It is time to place your hand on the handle and step forward, not just as a person, but as the one chosen to change the very history of your bloodline. That father, who once held you in sleep, is now trying to hold your soul. Every time you draw near surrender, don't ignore the signs, because he is sending them to you every single day. In the way sunlight hits your window, in the numbers you keep seeing repeat, in the way your heart pounds when you're about to do something bold, and in that strange peace you feel when you finally let go of a toxic connection. You are not crazy for sensing something is happening. You are awakening. You are returning the light to the bloodline you were born from. And that may bring tears to your eyes, but they are tears of release. If you've ever felt like you were living someone else's life, if you've ever had a deep, quiet sense that you were assigned something unnamed, right beneath this video, I have stepped through my transformation door. No more delay, no more pretending just to keep others comfortable. No more sacrificing your real dreams to serve invisible expectations. You've opened the door, now walk through it. Because on the other side is a version of you your father always knew you would become. Now listen closely. There is a woman watching you, but her heart is not honest. A woman your father once warned you about because he knew you would believe her more than you believe yourself. You know who she is, and she is mirroring back an old version of you, one who was small, obedient, and willing to endure too much. But that version is gone. Aquarius has awakened. And if you are truly ready, I will guide you into the deeper place. The place where you don't just walk into the light, but become it. If you're still here, still reading these words, then I want you to know you are no longer alone, because you are not just listening to a story. You are witnessing your own journey being rewritten in light. And right now in your sky, a great shift is unfolding. Not loud, not chaotic, but strong enough to make every old energy begin to retreat. You have been misunderstood. You have been deceived. You have kept silent to protect the ones you loved from being hurt. But now, I need you to understand something important. Not every silence is noble. Not every tolerance is forgiveness. And not everyone deserves a place in your heart just because they were part of your past. The universe has its own law. Justice doesn't require anger. Justice is a frequency. And Aquarius, you do not need revenge. Because what is sown will be reaped. Sooner or later, the balance of light will always restore itself. Have you ever felt an invisible hand rest on your shoulder right when you were about to collapse? A voice without sound, but it stopped your tears and made you breathe again? I have seen that father, not with my eyes, but with light, a man in white, standing behind you in your dreams, saying nothing, but looking at you with eyes full of pride. That man has never left you, not even after crossing into another world, and today, he stands between the realms, gently speaking to your soul. I know you are tired, but you are not alone. I went ahead to open the way. You only need to keep walking. You may have dreamed of falling from a great height and woken up with your heart racing. You may have heard an old song and suddenly felt a wave of emotion you couldn't explain. You may have stood in a familiar room and felt it turn strange, even though no one was there. None of that is random. It is your soul receiving signals from the other side, and your father has been trying to send them to you. Through every dream, every silence, do not dismiss your intuition. Intuition is signal, and signal is the first thing your spiritual father will use to warn you. In your current astrological chart, Saturn is illuminating your 10th house, the house of legacy, of career, of the deep purpose your soul was meant to carry. And do you know, you are not just building a future for yourself, you are completing a soul promise, not only of your father's, but of an entire bloodline, interrupted by unspoken wounds. The recognition you are about to receive, the milestone you are about to cross, it is not just success, it is the handover of a divine destiny. I once asked myself, why is light always tested the most? And the answer did not come from books. It came from people like you, Aquarians who carry within them visions and ideals the world is not yet wise enough to embrace. You were not hurt because you are weak. You were tested because you were chosen. You don't need to strike back. You don't need to claim justice through pain, because the universe will always realign what's been broken with a higher law no human hand can build. Right beneath this video, I walk forward with no need for revenge, only light. Because when you write that, you rise. You leave the energy of victimhood behind and step into the soul of a healer. If you've ever been misunderstood, you don't need to explain yourself anymore. If you've ever been betrayed, you don't need to close your heart. If you've ever cried in silence, you don't need to feel ashamed for that, because your tears have watered this soul into full bloom, and that father, no longer in the earthly realm, is standing beside you now, watching you with deep gratitude and reverence. You don't need to do more. You don't need to argue. You don't need to prove anything. Just keep walking with the light in your heart. And if you are still reading these words, it means you are ready. Let me reveal something your father deeply wants you to know. A sacred gift is about to be unlocked, but only when you release your final fear. Be ready, Aquarius, because you are not just living for today, you are living for an ancient promise that has been waiting for you for generations. Dear Aquarius, if you've come this far with me, then let me, as one who reads the stars and listens to the whispers of heaven, bow in gratitude to your soul, because this journey you just walked through was not just a video, it was a ritual of awakening, a transformation within the deepest layers of your energy. That father, the one who appeared in your dreams, in the night wind, and in those moments when you thought you couldn't go on, has left you a blessing. Not just protection, not just warning, but an energetic signature, sealed from the higher realms, an unexpected financial breakthrough, a door to a new home opening at the perfect moment, a new love, deeper, safer, or a career path that lets your soul shine. None of it is random, all of it was writ. From the time your soul stood between worlds, you have not just been warned, you have not just been healed, you have been chosen to be a guide in this new era, chosen to awaken the higher gifts of your soul, especially in 3 divine areas. Justice, you sense energy imbalances like a silent receiver. Technology, you don't just use it, you understand its soul. Spirituality, you carry the ability to touch the invisible and make it real. Pay attention. In the coming weeks, unusual opportunities will find their way to you. Take them, trust your intuition. Let the light lead. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for walking this sacred path with me. Until the very last breath of this message, every gaze, every breath, every moment you listened was part of a soul ceremony we have just completed together. And if your heart is beating louder now, if something deep within feels activated, it means you are ready. If this has awakened something inside you, share this video, don't keep it for yourself. Because somewhere out there, there is another Aquarius, crying in the dark, praying to hear a word from their father, waiting for someone like you to bring the light. Right beneath this video, I am ready to receive my blessing. That is not just a sentence. It is a soul agreement, a sacred seal you send back to the heavens. If this feels like more than content, if this feels like a message meant only for you, save it, share it as a gift to yourself and to the other souls walking beside you, because you are not just Aquarius. You are the water bearer to a thirsty world. You are the light who made it through the long night. You are the messenger of heaven in this new age. And I want you to say this with me, as a sacred declaration. And now, with an open heart and eyes that have seen the truth, I declare my soul is ready. I am the light. I have come home.